Hello everybody, the lawn gnome is here.
Yeah.
I'm here today to review a movie that was something that was very, very interesting to me. Recently, there have been a lot of movies that are based on true events, and the thing that really intrigues me the most about them is the fact that they're based on more recent events. Current events that I actually remember hearing about on the news, reading in the papers, and talking to people about. And this was also a movie that I was sort of on the cusp with, just because, you know, it's a September movie. Is it really going to be as good as it is? I'm not exactly sure, even though the trailers do look pretty fantastic, as well as the cast. And of course I'm talking about Peter Berg's directed Deepwater Horizon, starring Mark Wahlberg, Kurt Russell, Kate Hudson, and John Malkovich. And because of the influx of such positive reviews from so many members of the YouTube film critics community, as well as other reviews from other YouTubers that are still pouring in, I knew for a solid fact that this was a movie that I could not miss in theaters, and I was so happy to be right when I walked out of the theaters. This movie was so incredible, so engaging, the cast was phenomenal, the whole story of how the events turned out, even though we all knew what was going to happen. It's sort of what I like to call Titanic syndrome. It's like you go into the theater, you know that what is going to happen, and you're just waiting for the film to build and build and build until it actually happens. Now, I want to bring two specific movies that came out last year that I actually reviewed very recently. There will also be a link to these in the description box below. And that was The 33 and Everest. Two true stories, which events are building to a specific event that we all knew about, and then how the movie actually brings it into focus and resonate with its viewers. The 33 did it well, Everest did not. Deepwater Horizon did it very, very well. First, it shows you the crew. It shows you the people, their actual lives, how they talk to each other, what their status on the oil rig was, and the way that Peter Berg directed it, it felt so realistic and so believable. The audience that watches the movie can really relate with the characters, especially because of the fact that some people have done this exact stuff for a living. You see the technical aspects, you see the business aspect, you see the human aspect of this whole event, and when the event actually happens, and I specifically remember it happening when I turned on the news one morning in 2010, how these people really risked their lives to make sure that everybody was safe. All of a sudden, business didn't matter, oil drilling didn't matter, it was all a matter of survival, and the movie paces it perfectly. Another thing that really impressed me about the movie was the score from Stephen Jablonsky. I don't know what it is about him. He knows how to bring the epicness of a score and a situation out into the open. There are composers like Hans Zimmer that do it well as well, but he just has a little extra something that just really makes me appreciate his scores. And crazily enough, they're never really with the greatest of films, but I love his scores on the Transformer films, and I love his score from Ender's Game. But the thing that really made me happy about this film the most is, I remember when the Deepwater Horizon oil rig exploded. And I remember even seeing the video footage of this gigantic thing on fire, and then, poof, it's gone. No more talk about the fire, no more talk about the survivors. Now it's all a matter of getting the BP to plug this gigantic hole in the ground from spilling ginormous amounts of oil into the Gulf of Mexico. That was what the news always focused on, and quite frankly, it got annoying to me. At one point, I was like, stop talking about this. Find something else to talk about. I'm not interested anymore in this oil coming into the ocean. Why didn't they talk about the people that survived? Why didn't they talk about the casualties, the deaths? Because, yeah, people died. People are supposed to die after a gigantic explosion like that. So the fact that Peter Berg decided to take the story of what happened before all of the oil issues and really focused on the people who risked their lives to mine this oil was fantastic. This movie does have the potential to get some Oscar nominations, especially the performance from Mark Wahlberg. Seeing him in this movie made me very excited for Patriots Day later on in the early portion of 2017. This movie is not a movie that I want to see thousands and thousands of times. It's definitely worth a watch more than once. Is it a movie that I would want to own on DVD? Probably not, because movies like these, as great as they are, to me they just don't have the longevity of really fun movies like Back to the Future or Star Wars or even Spotlight, believe it or not. I can see Spotlight numerous times over, and let me tell you, the contents in that movie are much more heavy than the events that take place in Deepwater Horizon. But Deepwater Horizon is worth seeing in theaters, guys. It will blow your mind because it is visually stunning, even though some of the things that you will see will be very hard to bear. See it, and hopefully you will enjoy it, and I'd love to hear what you have to say about it, because I'm going to be giving Deepwater Horizon 3.5 out of 4. Thank you very much for always watching, everybody. Put your comments in the box below. Let's have a discussion on Deepwater Horizon, and I'll see you in the next one. Actions speak louder than words.